A close game. We do have a little bit of a prize giveaway there, so if you are watching us on Facebook, if you comment and you get the games right, you will win a free t-shirt. So just announcing the teams here. Number 1 for the KRTON Hippos, Miklos Timar from Hungary. Number 2 from Poland, Lucas Pilars. Number 3 from New Zealand, Cole Hawkins. Number 5 from Russia, Ivan Debeli. Number 7 from Chinese Taipei, Mark Huang. Number 9 from Malaysia, Muhammad Adil bin Abu. And number 10 from Argentina, Nicolas Fase. For the Commandos, number 1 from Hungary, Miklos Kis. Number 2 from Malaysia, Mohammed Amaruddin bin Shuib. Number 3 from China, Chu Shen. Number 4 from Spain, Alejandro Valls. Number 7 from Russia, Igor Zandarov. Number 8 from Germany, Mario Kupers. And number 9 from Great Britain, Ed Lart.
So as they are about to go into their warm-up period before the start of this game, just a short warm-up before the start of this game. In the week in between the games last weekend and this weekend, the teams have had a chance to sit down and have a review of the video of the previous games. There's been a couple of training matches, training almost every day. But a few exhibition games. There was an exhibition game at the start of the Marathon World Championships. We also visited a local school to do an exhibition game, a local water sports school in Ningbo. And a few of these players were away in training for the Asian Championships, which is actually next week. So both of these teams were slightly interrupted to lose a player over the course of the week in training for that tournament planning. But they've been gelling well, both of these teams, in the interim, and Commandos have been giving very tight games to whoever they play. It doesn't seem to matter which team perceived in the ranking they play. It seems to be a much tighter game than their very first game of the championship was. So maybe just starting to understand each other a little better than they did at the beginning.
Yes, we've seen a lot more team play happen over the last few days behind the scenes, so it will be interesting to see how this second weekend of competition goes. First weekend we saw the Hippos and the Tigers having some very convincing wins, but over the last week or so we think that the Bulls, the Blue Helmets, the Commandos, they've all had very strong training games and some very strong performances, so we should have some very interesting games coming for you over the next 2 days. And
naturally all these players are immensely competitive, so losing even one of your first 3 games over the first weekend means that training doesn't drop in intensity in the week in between. So they've all been working particularly hard to get back up there. It has to be said that Hippos are the favourites going into this game, and the Commandos do seem to like the underdogs tag at the moment. In the games that they've scored points in so far, they've been arguably the underdogs. Just that game against the Blue Helmets that was on a more equal footing. So we'll see how they get on in this first game today. So just 1 minute of warm-up left. The teams here going through their agreed warm-up routines. You can see these 45 drives, as they're called. So ball being passed over from the other side of the pitch. Practice the accuracy of your pass, and then for the shooter to get his shot away. But this is also warming up your goalkeeper and allowing him the opportunity to get the eye in before the start of the game. It's nothing worse than turning up to a pitch and not having had the opportunity to get a few shots saved before you start your game. So the players to watch out for in this game from both teams. Lucas Pilars has been working hard right in the center for the KRTON Hippos. He scored quite a lot of goals from that position. You can expect to see them try and play the ball on the inside to him there. Mario Kuppers on the Commandos has been playing mostly on the right-hand side of the goal, but he's a huge presence on the pitch, the biggest player in the CPSL for this round. So you can expect to see them use his weight to their advantage. That's a holding point for the ball, and also just to get power behind the ball on the shot. Really test the goalkeeper from the KRTON Hippos, Mohammed.
Both teams just getting together for one final team talk before the chant and lining up for that first charge start. For those of you joining us this weekend that didn't get to watch any of the games from last weekend, there are a few rule changes for the CPSL that do differ from the ICF rules. First of those being on the charge starts, any false start will incur a yellow card at the start of the game. Your team will start with 4 instead of 5. In addition to that, we will also have a different penalty system. So the penalties for CPSL will be a hockey-style penalty from the halfway mark, where the attacker will have 10 seconds to dribble towards goal and get their shot off. The goalie does have to stay on the line. They can't move forward at all. If they take longer than that 10 seconds, normal play will resume and the other players will be able to enter the play.
Okay, expecting a very, very close sprint here between Matcha and Mark Huang, both very, very fast players.
Arguably the fastest that we have in CPSL, or close to, so it's to be a tight one.
Oh, nothing between it.
Matcha getting there first, but Mark Huang has won the foul, so Hippos will start in attack.
Yeah, Matcha made no effort there to try and get underneath on the ball. He's so light, you rarely see him go for that. I think probably used to being able to get to the ball before anyone else, so he wouldn't need to. But at that moment, they were judged to have got there at the same time, but Mark to have worked harder to get underneath and win possession of the ball. So Hippos get the first attack of the game. No rushing their first shot.
Miklos just bit of a loose pass there, and the Commandos will have the ball. Matcha sprinting down the field ahead of everyone, just trying to get that fast break, but Hippos are doing well to slow the ball down.
Pass wasn't on there. Shen decided to avoid taking the pass on. And earlier last week, the Commandos may have gone for that pass right at the start. Just a little bit more control in their game now than there was at the beginning.
Cooper's just trying to feed that ball into the inside, gets it through to Alejandro Valls, but the shot is blocked for a corner.
Alejandro Valls has to be one of the hardest working players here. He never stops moving on the pitch, playing that classic Spanish style of fluid play.
Excellent block there from number 7 for the Hippos, Mark Huang. Ball down the centre with Valls again, over to the right to Matcha. Matcha just a bit loose with the hands there, but Alejandro Valls just manages to get it back, sends it the other side to Coopers. Gets the long shot off, but it's blocked by the keeper. Lovely save from Abu. Hippos with the ball now. Bit of pressure on Huang. And the ball is stolen, but there was a foul in the process, so unlucky there from Coopers, but Huang will still have the ball.
That was certainly 50-50. It looked from here like he almost got that clean. But it's a risky tactic to try and play the ball when it's in someone's hand. Didn't pay off there. So that's a really, really good first save there for Mohammed. Mario shooting from distance. You'd say that he won't do that again, but had he got the first one in, he would have been peppering the net from then on. So just sets the tone.
Ivan Debelier just dictating play from that top roll, and the shot from Abu is blocked. Commandos will keep the ball in as well, so there is a changeover there. Bit of space here as well, as Alejandro Valls is racing down the field on that left-hand side. Bit of a risky loose pass there, but Igor Zandrov does get the ball, gets it back to Alejandro. The shot is potentially open, but it's blocked out for a corner. Lovely work to get back there from Abu after that blocked shot at the other end.
Yeah, the Hippos had 4 people back there, 1 in goal, and still with 2 players tracking back on the furthest 2 players. So they're working hard when the ball drops to get back first.
Sending that ball to that far side again to Coopers.
2 people on the inside here if he can feed them the ball. Oh.
He has won that foul.
Felt like he could have fed that slightly earlier there. So the Commando's currently playing 3 people inside, which is very risky if they lose the ball. Oh, Matcha goes for the... Oh, well seen. He's going to finish.
Excellent block there.
That was a great back of the hand, falling in pass and Matcha around the back of the body there. Other player didn't read it, but that was a big, big opportunity missed there from Mikoskis, one-on-one with the goalkeeper. As we said, great save from the keeper, but you've got to be finishing from there. But if they can keep working those opportunities, if they can get opportunities like that throughout the game, they can definitely win this one.
Matcha on that. Oh, excellent. Another excellent block from Abu. Great work to keep it in as well. So the Hippos do win that turnover and do immediately look for that fast break. Pillars on that right-hand side, sending that long ball through to Mark Huang. Just, again, a little loose with the hands there, but still keeps the ball.
Just while they're resetting, it has to be said, if anyone knows Matcha's left-handed shot the best, it would have to be Mohammed, obviously both playing in Malaysia together. It's quite a difficult shot to read.
On the shot from Huang, blocked again.
There was a paddle foul in there as well. So the break is back on. That's a poor pass. That pass has gone directly out. Just a bit rushed there. It's the kind of mistake you can't make again.
The Commando's just looking to pounce early, but very fast, quick, long shot there from the Hippos.
Yeah, Ivan just trying to catch them off guard there, but nothing given. Don't think it was on target anyway.
Cole Hawkins back out to Huang. Back to Hawkins. Back to Huang again. Hippos just letting their inside players give them a bit of time to create some screens. Now the attack is on. Huang driving down that right into the centre to Hawkins, who gets that shot, but it's blocked. Bounces favourably for the Hippos, so they do retain possession.
That was an early shot there. There wasn't really much given. That was through 3 or 4 paddles. He was lucky to get that back. I think that foul could have gone either way, but it's been called against the Commandos. So Mikos Timar taking it in. Went for the no-look right-hand shot. There's a lot of early shots being taken here. Plenty of time left on the clock, not really working an opportunity. I don't think that's a real opportunity to take. Tight through 2 players. If that ball had gone for a break down the other end, then his teammates would have been scolding him for that one.
Commando's defence holding up nicely.
Yeah, very strong so far, and Ivan had to go for a tricky back of the hand pass inside that was red as well. So Hippo's trying really, really hard to get into that zone, either just shooting over the top of it. Got a break on here. Can Alejandro get the ball away? He does. Oh, that was so close. The inside of the bar. That's a good block at the end there from Mario, coming at speed right down the center. So we get a replay there.
Nice block there from number 7 for the Hippos, Mark Huang. Couple in this first half, so that'll give them some good confidence.
So over 5.5 minutes played and still 0-0. This game is incredibly tight. First goal here is really going to set the tone, you feel. Commando's looking slightly more likely to score it at the moment, I'd say. Just being a little bit more patient. So this is the first shot clock that's really just starting to run down. Still 30 seconds on it there though when the shot came.
Both teams looking for those shots quite quickly, trying to get a goal or 2 after this first half.
Yeah, just a slight feeling of desperation from both sides. The first goal just really sets the tone on any game. No foul's been called here. Has that been deemed to be clean? It has. So unlike the previous play on the ball that wasn't deemed to be clean, that ball was cleanly removed from the grass.
Hippos with that turnover, so they will look to bring the ball down and slowly get their whole team down there.
So 40 seconds on the clock here. Be good to see them at least try and work more than one opportunity before the shot this time. It's the pass on inside. Oh, that's just another aimless shot again. It's not a very composed start from the Hippos. I'm surprised here. Referee's just disagreeing on the call there, but eventually it is called for a corner.
Commandos changing up their defence from last weekend. We saw them playing predominantly a 1-3-1. Now they've moved to a 1-2-2 for a slightly more aggressive approach against these Hippos. And it does seem to be working, as they are keeping a lot of the Hippos on the outside of their defence, creating those turnovers as they're trying to feed the balls to their inside players. So great work here in defence from the Commandos.
Hippos aren't running with much pace at the moment. These passes are to a static player. Trying to get a little bit more pace on if we can get the ball there. Oh. So, the Hippos do take the lead. Lucas Pilar's there with this underarm shot into the side of the net. But again, that was an opportunity that wasn't really on, but it's paid off this time around the back of Mario, underneath the blade. It's a great finish, but it's hard for the Commandos. You feel like they are the better team right now, but it's 1-0 on the board to the Hippos.
7 minutes in and we have our first goal. Much tighter game, this one. Potentially lower score, but still just as much excitement from both teams.
Fantastic.
Excellent work there from number 8, Mario Kupes. So great response from the Commandos to equal it out again, 1 goal apiece.
Yeah, and I'm glad to see that goal. I think they deserve to be at least drawing in this game so far. If you remember back to the very first games of last weekend, the Commandos got soundly beaten by, was it 16, 14 goals? Somewhere in that range in the end, and the Hippos beat the Blue Helmets by over 10 goals as well.
An equal margin.
So the Commandos have definitely improved in the last week. There's no doubting that now. Even in those last couple of games, obviously, to get some points on the board. And that Commandos goal was a better goal than the Hippos one. Nice screen on the side there to allow Mario to slide in and take the shot.
Excellent finish there from number 5 for the Hippos, Ivan Debelier from Russia.
Loves a blind shot, Ivan. Kind of felt that was always coming as soon as he was starting to look off to the left.
That does take his goal tally to 9, so he is the top goal scorer for the league so far.
You can see the frustration on the Commandos there, because they've done everything right in defence. They're keeping the men out. You know, they're preventing the pass inside, they're preventing people coming from speed on the sides, and yet these shots are still making their way through from static with essentially nothing really on. So we go back down by 1 again.
Just over a minute left in this half. Commandos will want to try and get that equalising goal to enter half-time on equal terms.
And whilst the Hippos are getting those shots, they'll keep shooting them from far out. Whether they feel they've got the better of the keeper, or it's a good attempt at a pass inside there, but it was blocked.
They have won the foul on that though, so the ball will come back in for another shot.
And you can see they're putting Mario right into the centre there. That's the player they want taking the shot. Edlart, don't think he's seen that Mario's coming in for the ball. He has now. There you go, that's exactly why they put him in the middle.
Excellent shot there from number 8 for the Commandos, Mario Kupes from Germany.
I think that was all 5, yep. Yeah, almost all 5 Hippos players there. Protecting around the keeper. So, timeout's been called here by the Hippos. 43 seconds left on the half, so they've taken the opportunity to take their timeout of this half. You get 1 timeout in each half, both teams. And with 43 seconds on the clock, this discussion before half-time, where they obviously get another opportunity to discuss, will be exactly how they want to attack And it's good to see them take this opportunity because their attack has been relatively unstructured so far, Jay. They haven't really probed in a particular manner. Both of those goals have been, as we said, static and essentially pot shot opportunities that have gone in. So expect them to come with a little bit more speed and purpose in this attack. Because Pilar's there, the captain, just discussing, driving his point home. Be interesting to see what the commandos are discussing in the same period.
Yeah, I feel the commandos have a lot more structured team play. Hippo's just looking a little unsettled at the moment, and we did see that last weekend where, David, your Wolves, you did get that win against the Hippos, some very strong team play there, and they just couldn't quite cope with it. A lot of players on those Hippos teams just looking to make their mark, so they will just want to settle and get that team play a little bit more structured, especially in that attack.
I think they definitely got better in our game as the game went on. They stopped taking those pot shots and started looking for more structured attacks. I think if I was the commandos in those last 40 seconds, I would have been saying, static in front of you, don't give them the opportunity to take the shot.
10 seconds left on this clock, so we'll see whether there's one last play from the Hippos. Mark Huang just down the centre. Not many options, so he does take the shot on himself. It is blocked out for a corner. 1 second left on that clock, so...
And the ball was lost over the back there, so it is timed out. There's not much you can do with 1 second from a corner, though. And yeah, the ball's almost immediately played, and that's half-time. So, 2-2 at half-time in this game, this mid-table clash.
Just remember that we do have the competition on Facebook, so if you jump online and comment your predictions for who will win the 3 games this afternoon, if you get all of them right, you will get one of those team t-shirts.
This really is your last opportunity to do that.
Yes.
I guess the draw at half-time allows that to still be the case, so if you are watching, go ahead. So 2-2 at half-time. Teams are lining up for the second half as we speak. Incredibly close sprint in the first half that Mark Huang won. Will he make it 2 from 2 in this game over matchup? Oh, Mark. Mark didn't sprint that time. It was Ifan and Ivan Develli made it there first, in fact, but just couldn't take hold of the ball. So the Commandos do win possession at the start of this second half, and this is their first opportunity to go up in the game. Pass inside was on, but wasn't read there. Just bounced, quite unfortunately, off the back of the boat to a Hippo's hand. So I think we can expect to see an improved attack from the Hippos in this first half. Given a bit of a shock by their captain at half time. Already the runs are slightly faster.
Nice block there from the Commandos.
If you look on the left-hand side here, Lucas Pillars is looking for the ball, the captain down there. I think that pass was on. Cole Hawkins had 3 paddles to get through. Lucas arguably only had the keeper, and that pass was clear.
Some strong words from the Hippos at halftime. They do look to have a lot more pace and aggression in attack than that first half. Let's see whether they can keep their composure, make the most of it. Not a lot shown there from Lucas Pillars to just fumble the ball and lose possession, so the Commandos will try and make them pay for that.
I think it was really unlucky there. They did really well to play it into him. First time in the game they've really managed to get it into him in the centre there, and he was just loading back for the shot. His arm hit the shoulder of the player behind him. See if the shot happens here. Decides not to take it. That was the right decision. And no foul because it's just completely accidental. So Lucas Pillars unlucky there.
Commandos just looking for that opening, being patient.
Oh, excellent block.
Interception there from Ivan Debellier, and immediately the Hippos pounce. They do have a 2-on-1.
Don't think he's going to need it. Matcha had to stick with the other player. Can he get push on?
Nice feed through to Miklos Timar from Hungary, and the number 1 for the Hippos does score that fast break. So the Hippos go up 3-2.
And that all came from that block, made the opportunity. I think Ivan could have finished that opportunity earlier than he did, just wanted to make it 100%. It's a shame we're not getting the replay of the block there. He was at full arm's length with the paddle and just managed to get enough on the ball, and then was quickest to react afterwards. Get his blade back. So this game following suit at the moment. Hippos keep going up by 1, and then the Commandos get back in it.
Lovely shot there from Alejandro Valls, but it is blocked out for the corner. A couple of fakes to just send the defenders the wrong way, but Nicolas Fasse in goals does get that final block.
So Edward Lart on the left-hand side here. He's been playing on the inside. Interesting, he's gone to try and take the top man out of action. I think he was the one who was adjudged to a foul there, maybe outside the 6 meters, but there was a jostling foul happened there. So the Hippos have the opportunity a little bit, definitely more lively at the start of this second half. Have the opportunity to push it to 2 ahead. And already they're taking more time off the clock than they have previously, even with this 1-goal lead at the moment. Commandos are playing 2-2. See them chasing. Could be that that's what was restraining the Hippos in the first game. They probably haven't played 2-2 so far this tournament. Used to having free reign of the ball around the back and just a little bit more pressure on the pass with 2-2. Oh, that was a great shot off the top of the bar. Just didn't fall in.
Great work from Coopers to hold the ball. Sneaky little pass there from Igor Zandarov, and the Commandos are away.
Yeah, they are in trouble. They had 3 people down on 1 man there, and he managed to get the ball away. So naturally there was a big overlap. That seems like a mistake, that shot. He had 2 people on him. It's going to be a difficult pass to get it over to Matcha, but Alejandro Valls was coming from behind.
Excellent block from Cole Hawkins for the Hippos. Commando's just looking to have a bit more in their attacks to get that ball in the back of the net. Matcha just sending it to Vals. Back to Matcha. Hippo's doing well to keep that ball on the outside though. Now drive down the right hand side. Trying to look to feed that ball in, but being watched closely from Hippo's defense. And that shot, deflection off the bar and out on the sideline. So really unlucky there, Coopers, with that shot.
So you can see the Hippo's defense is quite happy to close up on the two players on the inside, just keep them nice and tight. Not working really, really hard there. So comfortable that the ball won't get past their outside man to the two people in the middle.
Cooper's right in the centre with his shot. It is blocked out. He does love that space, and with 2 goals to his name this game already, he will have a lot of confidence to keep taking those shots.
Yeah, searching for a hat-trick. Can they execute the screen here on the left-hand side?
Another excellent block there, but some strong shots from Coopers getting his way into that centre, so Hippo's defence probably having to work a little bit harder to keep him a bit further out.
Not entirely sure there what foul Coopers was looking for. There didn't seem to be any contact with his hand in the action of the shot. The block seemed to be afterwards. Maybe he caught something on the way back.
Macha just sending it to that right-hand side.
Good speed from Alejandro there. Just drops the ball, trying to bring it back down to then put it inside and gives it straight to Ivan.
That's 2 strong turnovers towards Ivan de Bellier. 1 block, 1 steal. Just working really hard in that top roll to just win those loose balls and send his team onto the attack.
Hippo's not going for the risky long shot there. Matcha did well to get back and cover the net just to prevent that from being lofted in. Lucas Pires did really well to work himself in there again and he's lost the ball relatively easy. It seemed like it came out the back of his hands.
Nice work there from Abu to win that ball back, send it to the centre to Cole Hawkins, who does score that goal. So great work from both players, Malaysian and the Kiwi.
Frustrating goal there for the Commandos. They just worked really hard to get that ball back and then gave it away with almost the first pass of the break up the other end. So a 2-goal lead for the Hippos in the second half. They have been much better in the second half. Commandos are going to have to find another method of attack, another threat, rather than just Mario.
Lovely feed in from Macha to Miklos, but the shot is blocked out for a corner. There's some strong goalkeeping here from Abu for the Hippos.
A little bit more urgency in the game now from the Commandos. They know they really need the next one. Only just under 4 minutes left on this game now. This second half has gone really quickly.
Commandos just looking for the safe pass in, not wanting to risk any unnecessary turnovers. Now they've got a bit of a emphasis on that right hand side. Much as looking at that shot, sides against it, sends it into centre to Coopers, who gets the fast shot off. It is blocked.
See if we get a replay here, but there was definitely a man free on the left. You can see defender comes forward, sees the threat of Coopers, and he's drawing men now, Mario, for sure. They're focused on him as the main threat because he's taking the majority of the shots, which opens up space for others. Just need to find that space now, the Commandos, and realise it.
So another turnover here, so the Hippos with the ball.
So I don't expect Commandos to change anything. I think they were already 2-2, so they can't go more aggressive in defence. Chase slightly harder in 2-2, but the next option up is obviously 5 out. Opportunity well finished there.
Great goal for number 9 for the Hippos, Abu. So Commandos just not settling their defence there, just pressuring out a little bit, but kind of stuck in that halfway in between, and they have called a timeout.
Yeah, two minds there. I think they were thinking the same thing. You know, we're now 2 goals down, 3 minutes left. Do we go 5? Yeah, 3 goals down even. Well, 3 goals down now. But then they were 2 goals down, just thinking, you know, do we need to go 5 now? And that hesitation between coming straight back and putting the pressure on left spaces that the Hippos converted first time. So with 3 minutes left, I think Commandos don't really have any options but to try and chase this. Have to go 5 out for at least 1, maybe if they get that 1 back. They can put the Hippos under a little bit of pressure, but I think the Hippos look comfortable now. They'll just use their time on the ball. It's been a tight game this though, most of the way. It's only really just now that the Hippos have pulled ahead, so 3 minutes seems like an awfully short amount of time to score 3 goals in this game at least, but in the first games of the competition we were seeing 3 or 4 goals within a 2.5 minute period, so not impossible, but they'll need to get the first one pretty quick. Accuracy there in the pass back doesn't help things.
Gets that ball into the center to Igor.
Yeah, he had no opportunity there but to get the shot through.
Smacher with an early ball from that corner.
Maybe one more chance now to get something from this game with the next shot. Hippos will know that. You can see they look quite a bit more attentive in defense now, the Hippos. They know if they keep this next one out, it's game over.
Smacher feeds it into the center to Igor again, but the shot is blocked. They do win the corner, but they have to be putting these goals in.
So it is timeout after each goal, so they do have an opportunity still. Edlart brings it in from the left-hand side. Looks to take the shot. Referees judged that to be cleanly blocked. He was clearly looking for a foul there. Thought that was too close, but player was static. Ball looked like it was out of his hand.
Cooper's just...
That passes on. I think it was well read by Mikkel Timmer. So the Mario method doesn't work out this time. Commanders have had a lot of positives in this game. They've challenged a team which at the start of the first week was much further ahead of them, has to be said. And in that first half they definitely looked like the better side but weren't on the scoreboard. So just using the whole breadth of their team as well as using their biggest threats.
They have given away the illegal kayak foul, so the Hippos do have the ball. So Commando's now looking for that full press. They have gone everyone out, trying to pressure the ball and get that turnover. Hippos just looking for a bit of space. And they have won the ball. So Miklos just leaning over the top of Kupez's boat there, so they do get the turnover. But the Hippos are pressuring a bit as well, so Alejandro, a bit of pressure from Hawkins. Gets the pass off. Ed Lart just coming down that right-hand side. Sends it across the other side to Kupez.
Over the head, yeah,
Kupez
saw it.
To Alejandro.
Great opportunity.
And the shot is blocked and kept in as well, so the Hippos now looking to counter-attack. They have got that fast break on as well, so he's going to send a boo. He does have an open goal if he can get it.
Ball just fell the wrong side of him there. You feel if that had held on the right hand side, he had the opportunity to pick it up and put it in the back of the net.
Excellent work from the Commandos to get back. But they do have to pressure because there's only a few seconds left of this game if they want to get 1 goal back.
Shot was taken there. Went for the paddle shot with seconds left on the clock.
Confidence of youth there from Cole Hawkins, but it doesn't quite pay off. And that is full time in this game. So the Hippos have won it 5-2. So they did